Hi, and welcome back to my channel. This is Caitlin Knits. I'm Caitlin, but you can call me Kat, and welcome to the first episode of my podcast. I decided that with the new year, I really wanted to have some more structure in the YouTube channel. So instead of just doing whatever video makes me happy, that sounds bad. But instead of the spontaneity of it, I decided I wanted to have a structured what you can expect kind of upload schedule going into the new year, and this is part of it. I want every Saturday there to be a new podcast episode for you to watch. That's very traditional knitting podcast style because those are the videos I look forward to the most. Of what did I finish? What am I working on? What are my plans? Life stuff, all those good things. Yeah, so we're on episode 1. Little information about me. I will put in the description my Ravelry, my Instagram, my TikTok, the business Instagram, my website, all of the things I talk about, you'll be able to find them in the description. If I forget to put anything down on the screen, and that goes for this episode and any episode beyond, it's in the description. I write those ahead of time, so just know that. Um, all of the projects I talk about will be on my Ravelry with all of the information about the project. So if you miss something, if you're looking for something that I might have said, just check Ravelry. Just check Ravelry. Yeah. Happy New Year. This is the first video I'm filming in the new year, and I've got a lot of plans, but I wanted to start here because this feels the most true to my goals this year. I am planning to film my 2026 goals video about my knitting and about my business and kind of what my plans are for the YouTube channel, but that will come later. Today I just want this video to be a good start into what I hope is a very long-running podcast. I think I'm just going to call it the This Caitlin Knits podcast. I don't have anything, quirky or special to name this. Just it's a making podcast. It might be just a knitting podcast. However I title the video, we're just gonna stick with that. So yeah, let's just jump right in, right? So I'm filming this on the 16th of January, and I've been productive, but not as productive as I wanted to be coming into the new year. I feel like the drag of coming off of the holidays, it hit hard. It hit hard, but I have been able to finish a few things. So let's start with some finished objects. The first thing I finished this year was finished on January 1st. I do have to insert a photo for it, so I'll put that somewhere here because I already gifted the objects. They are the Waystone Mitts by Alicia Plummer. I knit these for my friend Xander as a belated Christmas gift. I wanted to have them done for Christmas, but So I knit these on a size US 6, maybe like a 9-inch circular needle, maybe like a 10-inch circular needle, using a Chow Goose set that I have. I used, for the pink, is Big Twist Value. For the pink, Big Twist Value Ombre for the mixed pink. And then the other glove is made with some Loops and Threads Classic, Soft Classic. Yes. Again, on the Ravelry page, you'll see all that information. He loved them. Went over very well. I knit them in Wicked theme, so one mitt for Alphaba and one mitt for Glinda, because he's a huge fanatic of Wicked. So yeah, that was my first finished make of the year, and it was a joy to make them. I've made that pattern easily almost 10 times now. I've knit them for everyone except for myself, so I'll probably make more coming later in the year. I can guarantee it. My second finished object this year, I do have here to show you. Both of the next finished objects are socks. So I do have this first pair that I finished. These are 64 stitch, knit on US 1 2.25mm needles. I use ChowGoo 9-inch needles. I knit all of my socks toe up, and both of these yarns are Hypnotic Yarn Yarnable colorways that I had from receiving the subscription last year. I have talked about these in other videos, but just in case you didn't know. So I knit a rounded toe. I knit toe up, like I said. So I knit a rounded toe, 72 rounds for the foot. My gusset and heel flap. It's my favorite heel. I always knit this heel. And then 2x2 rib on the cuff for 15 rounds. I also did something different this last sock knitting season that I had through the winter, where I was knitting a lot of gift socks. These are gift socks. Where I knit a panel on the front of the sock. Let me see if I can show you that better. So I knit this panel on the front of the gusset in 2x2 rib so that the arch of your foot fits better into the sock. And I did that just because I was knitting socks for people that I haven't knit for before, socks anyway. And I wanted to make sure that they would fit, the best that they could. I feel like getting hand knit socks or knitting yourself hand knit socks, these are like some of the most luxury items you could put on your body. It just feels so good to wear them. I love wearing hand knit socks. My husband loves wearing hand knit socks. So this is something that I truly like gifting people, but I don't want them to get it and not like the fit. So I feel like ribbing the gusset, the top of the gusset, helps with that a lot. So this is my second finished object of the year. And probably finished on the exact same day, if not the day after, is the sister pair to that first. Knit in the same yarns, obviously just switch where the colors are. This sock is different though. These are for a person with a much bigger foot than me, so same rounded toe, same US 1 2.25mm 9-inch needle, all of that's the same, but I did knit a 70 no, I knit a 68 stitch sock, and I knit the length of the foot to 76 rounds. And then I did the gusset, heel flap, cuff the exact same way as the other sock. So it's just a little bit more circumference and a little bit longer to accommodate the larger size. But yeah, otherwise it's the exact same. And I literally knit these in tandem. And when I got to the cuffs, I just cut the yarn on both, switched them to each sock, and finished them both. So yeah, my third finished object of the year. So yeah. My fourth finished object of the year is one that I finished last night. I've been knitting these socks for my husband for months, and I really wanted to finish them for Christmas, but it didn't happen. If you watched my Vlogmas, you'll know why. But yeah, so I just finished them last night, which is still good. Glad they're off the needles. But I am going to have to insert a photo here because they're over there blocking right now, and I'm not going to hold up some wet socks for you to look at. So I'll put a picture right here. US 1 2.25mm ChowGoo needle. I knit his on magic loop because his socks are huge. I never knit his on 9-inch circular. I think I would lose my stitches. On those, I knit a rounded toe. I knit a 76 stitch sock. I knit it for 80 rounds in the foot, and then I do the ribbed top of the gusset, heel flap gusset, all that stuff. I knit 30 rounds on the leg, and then 15 rounds of 2x2 rib in the cuff. That is that pair, and I'm really excited that those are done. They've been on the needles forever, and originally that yarn was supposed to be for me for socks, but I think he's really going to enjoy it. And now those socks that he will have come, 8 days from now on our anniversary, because those are now an anniversary gift. he will actually have socks that will match a sweater I'm planning to finish this year of mine. So a little matchy matchy. Yeah. So that's all my finished objects so far. I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. The fact that they're all paired objects to me says a lot. Moving on to works in progress. I have a lot of works in progress currently. I am not going to show you them all. I thought about it, I contemplated it for a long time, and I was going to take you through every single one I have with me right now. Because, yes, I have some hidden in storage. But I was going to take you through all the ones I have with me, which I think is around the number 15. But I thought about it and I said, no, I'm just going to show you the ones that I've been working on and that I want to continue to work on. And when I finish those and go back to working on another UFO that's sitting over there, you'll see it. And we can talk about it. But that's how I'm going to treat it for now. So I'm going to apologize now if I'm talking really fast. When I have a lot of things to say, I just start talking really fast. So I'm going to try to not do that. But if I am talking too fast, I am so sorry. To start with, the sweater, I was kind of just mentioning that'll match those socks. I have it living in this yarn barrel bag that I was gifted not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. I love these bags. I think they are so convenient. I'm not one to use the yarn guide at the top because I'm just not. But I think if I was knitting like a colorwork sweater in one of these, I definitely would. So in here, let me put this down. In here is my Billy Zip pullover by Joan Ho. Hopefully I'm putting that name right here. Again, I do have a project page for it. This has been on the needles for a drastically long time, over a year. And I know I've mentioned it in my whip tour video. Pretty sure that got uploaded. So you may have seen it, you may have not. So let me just show it to you again. Plus, it's gotten a lot of progress in the last week. So this is almost all of the bottom body portion of the sweater. It is knit bottom up, and I am knitting this on US 10.5 6.5 millimeter needles using my Licca interchangeable needle set. I love knitting with Licca needles. And this is a labor of love. This is a labor of love, and the reason it's been on my needles for over a year, I think, is because I'm so attached to the yarn. It is stunning. It is K&C Splendid Superwash, 100% superwash merino fine wool, 150 grams for 131 yards. Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? It's so soft. It's maybe a 2-ply, 3-ply. I'm not quite sure. I don't care to know, to be honest. I just know that I love it. I went Christmas shopping 2 Decembers ago at a sale at Joann's, and there was like 8 or 9 of these sitting there on sale, and I was like, you know what? Green is my favorite color. They're coming home with me. And I just don't want to stop working with the yarn. And I realized that because I was really like thinking to myself, why is this not done? This is going to be the most comfortable, warm, beautiful project ever. Why is it not done? Because I don't want to not knit with this yarn anymore. It is so good. I am helical knitting. And it does take a while, but knitting a bulky yarn on 10.5 size needles, it goes quicker than you think. So I had roughly like that amount on the body coming into the new year, and I decided that I was going to take this project out with me on a night out with my husband. We went to our local casino, Mohegan Sun, and watched no, we sat through the entire reality fighting event that was happening on a Saturday night last week or the week before. And it was lovely. We were there for like 7 hours watching from the preliminaries to the main event. It was wonderful. All the fights were great for the most part. But the entire time, I just sat and watched and knit this stockinette over and over and over again. And I got a lot of progress done. And now I'm to the point where I've knit the accent detail on the chest, and I need to knit another 2 inches before I split for the sleeves. So this is at a great point right now. It's so good. It's so pretty. I can't. The next project that I want to talk about is also a sweater, but this one I cast on right before the new year. It is in this wonderful project bag by I Heart You. Let me see if I can get the tag on screen for you. I bought this off her web shop years ago. She had a YouTube channel, I Heart Knitting. Don't know if she uploads to it anymore, but I do love this project bag. In here is my first ranunculus, and it's called the first on my Ravelry because I know a lot of people say once you knit one, you're gonna knit another. I have cast on a ranunculus before, using fingering weight. It was years ago, and I never finished it. I think it's still on the needles somewhere in my storage unit. But I really like the design and I really wanted one, and I don't think I want it anymore in a fingering weight, just knowing my style preferences at this point. So, as my Christmas cast on, I cast on a ranunculus. I'm knitting this in. This is yarn I got at Joann's. It's Lucky Brand cotton wool, solid. It is 50% cotton, 50% superwash merino wool, 224 yards for 100 grams. It's a worsted weight. And it's in this like really pretty, it's not, I wouldn't call this heathered, I guess, but it's in this really pretty like lightly melange blue. It's so nice. And I really like the texture of cotton wool blends like on my hands. So I was really excited to cast this on and work with it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Bro, look at that detail. It's so good. So I started this a few days before Christmas Eve. I think it was the 22nd of December. And I got the top yoke done pretty quickly, split for the sleeves, and then let it sit. I'm not a body knitter. I really do struggle on the bodies of sweaters. But I started just telling myself to knit on it when I was binging something on YouTube or TV. So I've actually put a good amount of progress on the body in the last like week, probably like 4 inches at least. I still think I need to double the amount I have knit from the underarm, but it's doing pretty good. It's doing pretty good. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I do have a stitch marker on here marking my progress. I think I'll just move that up and then show you between podcasts like what I got done. So that's my ranunculus. I'm knitting this on Chowgu size 10 6mm interchangeable needles. And that is all. The next work in progress I have on the needles is in this beautiful project bag that I made. I love space, so I have this constellation fabric that I got from Joann's, and I paired it with another constellation fabric I got from Joann's, and I made this really pretty project bag years ago at this point. And in here is a whip that I've had on the needles close to 2 years. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. But I want to finish them. I want them done. These are what I'm calling my coffee socks. When did I get this? My 23rd, I think, birthday. My husband took me to Webb's store in Massachusetts, and he let me have a little yarn binge. So I picked up this fade set of yarn. Let me get the card. Yeah, this is Sweet Georgia Yarns. This is the Tough Love Sock base, and I'm using the Cobblestone mini skein set. So this is the back of the packaging for that, and it comes with these 5 beautiful colors that kind of fade into each other a bit, but I fell in love. I love browns, and I love obviously coffee and anything that comes with that. So I saw this, instantly knew I wanted to knit socks in a fade. I color blocked it because I'm lazy, but I really like how it turned out. So I did the work ahead of time, and I wrote out like, oh, I want to knit the first color for this many rounds, the second color for this many rounds. And yeah, I picked these up probably right after the first. No. When I finished these 2 pairs, I picked up this project again. And this sock was on the gusset ready for the heel turn and heel flap. So I knit that and finished the rest of the sock. This is a 64 stitch sock, rounded toe, heel flap and gusset. And I never really knit my socks this long, but I really wanted a long leg on these. So this is 60 rounds on the leg with a 20 round cuff. Looks pretty cozy to me. And then the second sock is also started. And I'm already done with the first and the second color, and I'm into the gusset on this sock now. But when I picked this up, it was probably down here at this stitch marker, just barely into the second color. So I've done great progress on these, and I'm very excited to get them done and off the needles. I don't really have any desires to cast on more socks for myself at the moment. I have this project I really want to finish, and the next one I'm going to show you that I really want to finish. And then once those are done, I probably am going to just take a break from knitting socks for everyone except my husband, just to allow that side of my brain to breathe. I like socks for mindless knitting. I like them for football knitting. I like them for, like, I bring them with me to like comedy shows and stuff because I don't need to look if I'm knitting on a 9-inch circular. I just knit. But it's not something that I like reach for in the middle of my day. So I'm probably going to cut down how many I have on the needles once this is done. Sorry, there's some plastic here. But I'm keeping this project in a Ziploc bag because it's huge. These are the Nest socks by a wonderful designer I do not remember the name of. It'll be right here. These are also easily 2 years old. So Yeah, I feel like I cast on socks for myself. These are older than the coffee socks, and I just like forget that they're there. So I got the inspiration to knit these because we were doing some traveling and I was wearing a lot of leggings and my socks are all ankle socks, and that like little gap on my ankle between my leggings and my sock was really starting to irk me. And I know the simple answer is just knit longer socks, but that's not where my brain took it to. My brain said I need something cozy. I need something that without a shadow of a doubt will fix this issue. Hence the nest socks. So let me show you the little bit of progress I have on the second sock, and then maybe you'll understand on this on the first sock why my brain thought that. This is all I have for the second sock of the pair right now. Still very early on in the foot, about 15 rounds, I think, into the foot. The pattern, um, I didn't knit the toe in the pattern. I knit my rounded toe that I typically knit, and then the pattern calls for 1x1 ribbing on the top of the sock, so that is what I'm doing. And I'm knitting this on US 1, 2.25mm ChowGoo Magic Loop needles. I am knitting this pair out of Patent Croy Socks FX. This is a 75% wool, 25% nylon blend. 166 yards for 50 grams. Is there a color? Yes, Cascade Colors. It's this like really pretty gray, like muted teal type of blend. I had two skeins in stash and I thought that would be enough, and it wasn't. So this actually was put on hold for a long time because I thought I was going to run out of yarn and be unable to finish the project altogether, and that really irked me. But I was able to find this yarn in Michael's right after Joann's closed. Randomly. Like it was tucked away in my local Michael's. I found it, I bought two skeins of it, and now I'm finishing the pair. Months later, but you know, it's not the point. This is the first sock, and it is done. So, and without talking too much about the pattern, because it is a paid for pattern, I knit my foot the same length I normally do, heel flap and gusset style for the heel, no difference. But you do get this lovely, very long, 8.5 inches to be exact, brioche style leg. I have not blocked this. I literally cast this off within the last 10 days. Which day? Can't remember. But it was recently. I spent a long time knitting the leg of this sock, and you could probably, yeah, you could definitely see it right here. Um, right here. I totally changed yarn balls because I ran out of the yarn there. So it's slightly color change right here, but I don't care. Once these are blocked, I feel like this will loosen up a lot and be a lot more forgiving and more cozy. But I did try this on and it fits. It's a little stiff because Patent Croy is stiff until you block it, but it is really lovely, and I think it will keep me super warm in the wintertime once I finish the pair. So yeah, that is my Nest socks. Did I forget anything? The leg is knit on a US size 2 needle, and I did knit the entire sock magic loop for the ribbing aspect, and then the fact that this leg is huge. So yeah, another whip that I'm hoping to put more attention into. This might not get any progress in this coming week because, yeah, because the next thing I'm going to show you is what I've really been focusing on, and I'm really excited to keep focusing on it. this next whip is something I started not yesterday, the day before. So 2 days ago, very late at night, sorry, plastic. I was feeling really motivated to work on things that were not any of these projects. Also, sorry if the light is changing. I'm watching the sunset as I'm filming this, and I can see it's getting a little darker in here. So sorry. But anyway, I was not really looking to work on anything in my whip pile, and that's something I don't want to stray from in the New Year's. I really want to try to work on my whips and not just cast on everything and anything under the sun like I normally would. But when it comes to stocking my website and trying to be forward on my business, I will allow myself to work on new projects so that I can accomplish that. So this is going up on the site as soon as it's done, but I did start it about a day and a half ago, I guess. It's a crochet project. I try to limit my crochet. I took about 3 weeks off of crocheting after Christmas because my arm is really sensitive to it at times. But this is my first real dive back into it, and I'm really loving what's coming out of it. So this is the Heart Tote Bag by Viv Crochets. Correct me, editing me. I found this pattern for free on a blog, but you can also get it on Ravelry. And I am making a tote bag for Valentine's Day. And I'm doing it using a heart square motif. So I've made up a good amount of these squares already. Let me talk about the yarn real quick. Let's get all those facts about the way. For this, I'm using Line Brand 24/7 cotton. This is a worsted weight, 186 yards for 100 grams, 100% mercerized cotton. This is the color Ecru. And well, it's just easier here. And then this red is the color Burgundy. I have these yarns left over from previous commission projects, but I think I have just enough Burgundy to get me an entire tote bag in this style. So I'm really excited for that. I'm probably gonna have to pick up another skein as Ecru though. I am crocheting this on a US. Who am I? On a G 4mm crochet hook. I do use a Susan Bates interchangeable crochet hook set for this, just to give myself more of an ergonomic grip. So yeah, I am knitting, I'm crocheting this bag. You start by making the heart, and then you make the square around the heart, and I have not woven in any ends yet. But I can show you I have these 5 squares in this fashion. 5 squares in this fashion. And then in this bag is the rest of the hearts I need to finish the bag, and a square that is almost done. So, for the style of tote bag that I am planning to make, I'll throw in a picture here because I did lay out these squares once already to kind of plan it out. And this is what I'm going with, which is one of the suggested styles in the pattern. But I think it's really cute and very much Valentine's Day, obviously. Very romantic colors, if I do say so myself. And it's been a joy to make. Like, the pattern is it's not simple, but it's intuitive. Like, I now know how to make the heart and the square without looking at the pattern. And I'm not even done with all of the squares. So, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm hoping to get this done coming next week. But with that being said, like I said, I'm going to be playing a bit of Yarn Chicken with the Burgundy, and I'm definitely going to go need to grab a second skein of the ecru to finish the bag, which is fine. So I need to run to Michael's to do that. And then, the whole like weaving in ends, seaming all the squares together, crocheting a handle. Yeah. So that's to come, but that is all I worked on yesterday for the most part was those squares and then knitting the last 10 rounds of ribbing on my husband's socks, which I finished yesterday. So now you're caught up. You're caught up on all the things that I've been working on, which is lovely. I now would like to talk about plans, just so you know what to expect on the next podcast episode, because these are things that I'm going to tackle this week. Period. So, staying on topic of that heart tote bag that I'm making, I've already planned out more. This is very typical for me. I see one, I like it, I want it in every color, so I'm going to make it in every color. Again, not for me, for the site. I went through my website, espressofibers.com, where I sell handmade items, patterns, printables, all my own art is on that website. And I was building my Valentine's Day categories so that everything's sorted properly for anyone shopping for the season. And it just felt really light to me, and I didn't like that. So, in my plans, not only am I finishing that heart tote that I'm currently working on, which is close to being done, I've picked out these color combinations for the next ones. I have, this is all Lion Brand 24/7 cotton, same yarn. I have this beautiful black colorway and the colorway camel, which kind of comes off gold. I don't have a lot of the camel, but I do have plenty of the black. So I'm thinking all the hearts will just be gold and the rest of the bag will be black, and it will be so pretty. So I'm planning this one for sure. Very dark romance, very, very like regal. I like it, love it. This one is low key inspired by my sister because she would 100% wear this. I'm going to do the exact same style of the two contrasting color squares that I'm doing for the first one, for the red and the cream, with this beautiful dark teal and white combination. I think that's better. This is the color Dragonfly, and this is the color White. Have plenty of yarn to do this, so this will be a combination. I think it'd be really, really just like really delicate pretty, in my opinion. And this one is a last minute addition, but I think it's worth doing because pink is kind of the color of the season. I have this really pretty, like magenta color, and I'm going to pair that with white as well. Yeah, this is the color magenta. So I do have this combination, and I'm very excited to get all those done. I'm kind of planning just ahead of time to make the hearts all at once, assembly line it, and then make the squares all at once. If I assembly line a total of 4 bags, I don't think that's a problem. I do think it'll take up my life for the next week and a half, but that's kind of my job, so it's fine with me. I really like the square motif, and I think it could do a lot of amazing things. So I'm finna do a lot of amazing things with it. With that being said, the next plan I have is in retrospect to my husband. You're going to hear about him a lot because he's probably the person I knit for the most outside of myself. Yeah, he's the most knit-worthy person in my life. He wears everything I make him, and he loves it, and he cherishes it, and what more could you ask for? So in regards to him, and just finishing these socks for him, I try to keep a pair of socks for him on the needles at all times, just because he wears through his socks quickly. He loves them. They fit better than most of the socks he has, and he's heavy on his feet. So he wears holes in the heels of his socks like nobody's business. I once gave him a pair for his birthday, and I think he wore them every single day for the next month following his birthday. And by the time I realized they had holes, they were demolished. Demolished. Like like if I still have the picture, I'll try to put it in because he completely ruined the stitch, like definition, skeleton, anything that was salvageable about those was gone. So now I try to keep a closer eye on his socks, and I've noticed that he has torn a hole in the bottom of this heel. This is a pair I knit him out of St. Patton's Croy easily years ago at this point. And this is the first pair of socks I ever knit him. It's a beautiful top ribbed black pair that he loves, and I've already mended this sock, but he has bust around the mending already. I mended these probably 3 months ago, and so quickly. It doesn't matter. So, my plan, now that I have my sock needles free from his socks, is to pick up and knit patches onto both of these socks that I would just sew down on the bottom of the heel. I have found that out of all the ways to patch his socks, that has been the most successful so far. So that is my plan. With these needles now, and probably today or the next day, I'm going to pick up and knit these patches and get them done. Out of the brain, get these socks back in his sock drawer so he can use them. It's cold outside. And once that is done, I will be casting on for a new pair of socks for him out of this yarn. There we go. This is Barocco Vintage. That was not English. Barocco Vintage Sock. Do these have color names? I don't know. No, they just have color numbers. Okay. So, these are 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. You do get 437 yards for 100 grams. And the cream is color 12002. And this beautiful blue is color 12070. I got these on discount at Webb's on the same birthday trip for the coffee socks. So I've had this for a while, and I really want to knit myself some socks out of this, but I know he would really appreciate the yarn and he would probably get a lot of wear out of these. So I'm just going to knit us matchy socks. So my plan right now is to knit his toe, heel, and cuff in the cream, and then the majority of the rest of the sock in the blue. And then I will flip it for mine and do blue toes, heels, and cuffs for me with cream for the rest of the sock. Depending on how much of this yarn his socks take up, is my tentative plans. I'm planning to knit these 100% ribbed for him so that he can have a better fitting sock. I prefer knitting stockinette socks, but he's voiced to me at the end of last year that his best fitting socks have ribbing and that he would prefer the fit of those over the stockinette socks by a long slide. So I was like, okay, if that's what makes you happy, I will do that. So, considering I already knit his socks on Magic Loop, I'm just going to knit him a ribbed pair so that he can tell me if he really does like that, and then we can see how we approach future socks. But I know I really like that yarn. I've knit him another pair out of that yarn in different colors, and I'm really excited to be working with this. So, that is my cast on once his other two socks are mended. I've got it planned out. I've got it planned out. So, yes, those are my plans. More heart tote bags, finishing the whips I already have, mending some socks, and casting on a new pair of socks. that's all I have. I lied. I'm also planning on making earrings this week, but I haven't pinpointed when yet. So that may or may not be in the next episode. We will find out. Outside of that, that is all I have for whips, plans, finished objects. Cool. I just want to say before I end the podcast that I'm really excited for this year, and I've kind of written out what I want to accomplish video wise. I think I mentioned that briefly in the beginning of this video. I will talk about it more in my goals video that I am attempting to record later this week. But also coming to the channel, I do have a few videos that I recorded last year before Vlogmas started that I was trying to upload during Vlogmas. But having migraines really got in the way of that, so I don't want to just let the videos go to trash. I spent a lot of time on them. I like them. I want them to, live on the channel. So there might be some uploads coming in the next few weeks, on Wednesdays, ideally, that they will be opened with "this was filmed in 2025." But some stuff from last year, just to wrap up having that stuff saved, and then we can go into creating more vlog content, design content, business content, and keeping this podcast going. So that's the plan, tentatively, going forward. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you if you stuck all the way through the end of this video. I hope you knit on something fantastic. I hope you sipped on a beautiful beverage. And I hope I didn't talk you to death. I am going to go clean up and edit this video. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.